It appears that we're good now.
Podcast episode 92.
92.
92. 5/14, April 5th. Let me start again. 5/14, April 26th on Friday.
April 26th. The month's almost over.
The year's almost over. It's almost Christmas.
No, it's not even close.
It's fucking almost Christmas. We better start figuring out what we're doing for Christmas specials.
We'll figure it out in January.
We'll have, we'll do some SOE Claymation.
We have the whole month of January to figure
SOE
out
Combat
Christmas
Claymation.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why our movie production crew is not already working on the Claymation.
You know who'd be good at it? You know who'd be really good at it? Lance.
The
Lance
Claymation
Lance,
SOE story.
you guys never saw it, but Lance had a whole fucking video where he took a combat cock and he'd take a picture and he'd move it. He'd take a picture and he'd move it. He'd take a picture and he'd move it. He had this fucking camera on a tripod. It wasn't even a video camera, right? Snap, 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 snap. So he'd take like 1,000 photos
That's
to get
how they used to do it.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool. He had this fucking combat cock just fucking cruising like figure 8 patterns all over the table. You'd asked another dude what the weirdest thing he hauled in a tractor trailer, and I figured I'd chip in. Literally millions upon millions of dollars, C4, and dynamite. Shipping containers to military facilities with the bills of lading marked contents not to be disclosed. Napalm in tanks, not really a lot lizard, but a teen mom gave me a 34.5 for grocery money. I have my suspicions considering it was $20. What are we fucking talking? What's a 34.5?
I don't know. You got to tell us what a 34.5
I want to know. What are we missing out on?
What are we missing
is it
out
something
on?
we're getting every day, or is it something kind of new? Like I thought we're in the trust tree. She might be wearing some panties that I've never seen before. Like I'm wondering, are they yellow panties or are they purple?
And then, man, tell me when your truck's moving down the highway. It's like a lottery with you. I'll be surprised at whatever's in the back of it. Oh, man, just let me take a picture.
That's John G. What up, fellas? Have you ever heard of a company called Mission Belt? We're not doing that. That thing's fucking stupid. That ratcheting belt they make, that's actually an assembly that's readily available. They use them on, like, rollerblades and shit. It's the same bullshit that they put on those tourniquets. And those were breaking, by the way. Those ratcheting tourniquets, they were fucking failing.
He wants you to corner the market on them.
Yeah, he wants us to copy it. We make a belt. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called an EDC belt and a low profile belt. We've made fucking thousands of them a week for a decade now. Okay. But he says, anyways, keep your great content and show Gabby this comment and see if she recognizes me, as I used to work with her at a Wolfgang Puck's restaurant in Vegas.
Why don't you give us some details? Come on. Sneak us some dirt on Gabby so we can use it against her.
She actually showed me this yesterday. She actually found your Facebook profile, looked at your picture. You're the dude with the motorcycle. You used to do all the stunt riding and shit, wheelies down the highway and everything in Vegas there. Right on, dude. Thanks for watching. Fucking small world, man. Josh is here too. I don't know if you knew Josh.
Of course he knows Josh.
But
Sarge Emesis, because he was trying to get Gabby and Josh got her instead.
Gabby looks kind of easy.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think she looks easy?
Well, my problem is I see
if
her...
you're a hippie, like if you come in here and you're dirty and have a dirty sweatshirt on and don't wear deodorant, Gabby like gravitates towards those.
My problem is she told me about her
Catalina wine mixer.
No, her upbringing in the Catholic Church down in Mexico. So all I see her is in like a penguin suit, moving across the floor without moving her feet.
That's not what they did.
Just moving across the floor.
All the Catholic girls.
That's all I see, with like a ruler in her hand.
No, they were wicked porn lesbians, fucking up until like they escaped.
That's what Joe Rogan says.
What? Nuns are all lesbians?
No, that he hung out at the Catholic schools. He hung out when he was in high school. He would always go to the Catholic school down the street because the girls there seemed more horny than the regular school girls.
Think about it. Those girls are doing anal because they don't want to get pregnant. Think about it. That's the perfect place.
I'll have to ask Gabby. Is that true, Gabby?
What up, fellas? Have you ever heard of a company? We just did that one. Hey, John, you ever have to chew Skully's ass?
All the time.
I've never fucking.
All the
I have
fucking
never
time.
said shit
All
to
the
that
time.
motherfucker.
If there's a problem, I get my ass. It doesn't matter who did it. I get my ass chewed. There's a video right now of Sebastian not digging a hole, and John chewed my ass about the video of Sebastian not digging a hole.
Oh shit!
Happens every fucking day.
It's gonna be a funny video.
It is a funny. It's actually. I mean, you know.
I haven't heard the audio on it yet, but it's gonna be a funny video.
It'll be funny.
But I did just build a whole entire gym for Skully.
A whole entire gym. Like he just. Are you done?
No.
What else are you gonna put in there?
A lot. We're gonna go. I told you. What did I say? What did I say? I said we should buy a gym, and you said, where would we put it? And I said, in the garage. And you said, where are we gonna put the garage? And I said, we're gonna build another garage. And I said,
well, we haven't built the other garage.
And
yet.
I said, we will just get some shipping containers until then.
Here's the problem. It's one of those things where if you want to use the gym, you got to move all the cars outside, and then if you want to leave, you got to move all the cars in the through because everything is like meticulously put in there. So I haven't even been out there since you got all the leg shit.
Yeah, all the mats are in place, all the shit's in place. Man, we can. Well, you've seen how Mike did it. We can wedge at least 27 more machines in there.
This is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to do this just for you. You let me know when the gym is finished. When the gym is finished, I'm going to go to the Jayville gym, and I'm going to get the four amigos, and I'm going to have them come down here and hang out at Gym SOE.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Holy
just
shit.
for you. Wouldn't that be hilarious? You coming down the stairs and those four guys are down there just talking about football games?
I don't know what the
funny as shit.
I think they're all. It's a trip because they're all four there talking, but they're not having the same conversation. It'd be like you talking to me about dolphins, but I'm talking to you about hot air balloons. Like it makes no fucking sense. I heard nowhere is SOE or John or Jeff listed at the Southern Poverty Law Center yet. SPLC is a terrorist and extortion operation. Yeah, kind of like the Better Business Bureau. And definitely should lose their not-for-profit status. I have a friend who made Hate Watch, and he lost his payment process, PayPal, and internet hosting provider. Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, go ahead.
All because some cunt didn't like his opinions and truths.
Here's the thing about that. Here's the thing about the Southern Poverty Law Center, right? I am sure in 1968
they did some real shit.
They did some real shit. They were really there, you know, because there was some crazy shit going on. Late 60s, early 70s. The problem now is because if you just factually look at it and take the emotion out of it, everything is going down. Hate crimes are going down. Violent crimes are going down. All crime is really going down. But it's necessary for a place like that to keep the hype up, to make you think, oh my God, the Ku Klux Klan is lurking around in Georgia. They need to make you think that so you can keep donating money so they can keep their fat cat jobs and keep doing the fat cat thing. They're not out there doing anything. And that's why there's a lot of groups on there where you're like, look at their top 10. There's like 10 of them in there like it's the Jewish Economic Council or something, you know. It's crazy the things that are on there. I was actually surprised that there is a Black Panther group on there. Those guys must have done some crazy shit to get on Southern Poverty Law Center. Yeah, but that's really all it is. And the other thing too is the one thing that they won't tell you, and you really have to do some digging. So it's like they'll put these hate groups out there. They'll be like the SOE Klan hate group they're the worst in the fucking country. And you'll be like, man, that's crazy. I wonder how many members they have. They've got 2 members. Or they got, like, literally the worst group. The worst group. They went on NPR. I do listen to that channel. They went on NPR and they talked about all these hate groups and how hate is even worse. The worst group they could come up with. The worst. Like, they were like, they're just evil. This group is just evil. The stuff that they say about minorities is evil. And they're like, and the lady kept asking, how many members did they have?
We gotta stop this.
We gotta stop this. She's like, they got asked like 5 times, and you knew that she didn't want to say this because it would just make you look stupid. It's like, they have 9 members. They have 9 members, and the reality is they have never done a single act of violence. So it's like, what are we talking about here? We're talking about 9 guys living in their basement. I know it only takes 1, but the reality is they're fucking full of shit.
9 in their basement, and 7 of them can't get out of the basement.
Yeah.
Mom just brings them food. I heard someone mention something about knife shows. We're going to Indianapolis Saturday for SHOT Show. You're actually going for
the NRA.
The NRA show. Except we're not NRA members and don't want to be. It's if you're going all the way there to go to that, it's worth just joining the fucking NRA to go, so you can walk in and go to it's a giant fucking gun show. Every manufacturer's there, all the new shit's there, all the cool shit's there. It's worth it for you to just join the NRA to go see that if you're going to be there in town anyway.
Can you not go in if you're not a member?
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
You might be able to sneak your way in. But Jaeger is going to be there, and we'll be doing a meet and greet Saturday at 6 at the Hyatt. I love James. It's not worth going all the way. You're only going to see James for a couple minutes, and there's going to be a bunch of people there. If you are going to Indianapolis for this, just join the NRA so you can go to the whole thing. So we're going to say, hey, I wanted to stop by and see him while we were out there, but didn't know if he'd have a class or was there, so I planned on seeing him next time through. I mentioned being out there on his live podcast last night, and he couldn't believe I was up there and didn't stop by. So I'm making a point to go. We'll also have a hotel in Atlanta for the weekend for Blade Show, so I'll be sure to stop by SOE's booth. My little rapper dude loves him some knives. And he has never been to a knife show, so he'll be in heaven. He has started him a little collection. In fact, we just ordered the knife patch set for him to put on his SOE patch wall hanger that you gave him. Ordered Traden and a Versace of Velcro patch coaster. I tried to give that little motherfucker one of them patches when he was here. He didn't like it. They both have them proudly hanging on their wall, waiting for Mom and Dad to fill them up. Keep them coming, guys. Right on. Hey, Skully, I've listened to all the podcasts and heard you guys talk about supernatural shit when you were deployed. Did you ever experience anything crazy like that? Keep on keeping on. Love the podcast. See any ghosts?
No, I don't think I've ever. I don't think.
How about any elephants on stilt legs? You seen any of those?
No elephants on stilt legs. I don't never. I mean, you see shit, obviously, especially, in the 90s when nobody had night vision and you're fucking out there walking through the jungle in the fucking middle of the night. You see stuff, but when there's 20 of you and you're all walking, and I see a dragon over here, and I'm like, that looks like a fucking dragon. I'm gonna keep walking. That might be a fucking dragon. You just don't, you get there's times where you get creeped out, like you'll be. I had to do a link up in a graveyard one time with some midgets, but I don't. It's here in the United States.
Real midgets.
Real midgets. I don't.
Female midgets.
No, they were
midgets.
They were 2 dudes.
Was it part of Johnny Knoxville?
They were 2 dudes, and you had to do bona fides, right?
Was it Wee Man?
No, you had to do bona fides, and
was it a true or something?
No, it was Sniper School. You had to do bona fides, and you would say, bona fides. I would say something, and you would come back with something. And Stevenson was the one that made contact because I was like, that can't be them, man. They're too fucking small. That's not who we're supposed to link up with. And so Stevenson creeps over to him, and the little motherfucker's like,
Marco.
No, he's like, I got 2 balls in my pocket. And the response, I can't remember what the response is like, give me one of them or something like that. And Stevenson didn't know he didn't remember it, and he's because his little dude's like, I got 2 balls in my pocket, and he's like, what the fuck is that? A trick question? Which was not the right answer, but we still made contact.
Oh shit!
Crazy.
You ever see the Ghost Hunter shows, the TV show, right? You know who I'm talking about? He's pretty big, right?
Uh-huh.
Looks like a bodybuilder. He's always wearing like some affliction clothes and shit.
Uh-huh.
I walk in the room last night, and this shows, and I go, are you watching some, only that motherfucker can see the ghost? There's 20 dudes in the room, and he's the only one that can see it? She goes, yeah. I go, who the fuck is that nerd? Like, it's the dude wearing these glasses, and I go, what the fuck is he wearing? He's wearing a fucking vest with Molly all over it. He's wearing like an empty Molly vest. And she goes, I don't think that's what... I go, that's what it is. So we get a better shot of it, right? And it's a puffy coat. And I go, is that the dude that always... Is that the dude that, like, he was jocked up? You know, he was yoked up and fucking always... Like, he's sponsored by Affliction? And she goes, yeah, that's the dude. I go, does he have AIDS? What the fuck happened to him? She goes, he got sick a bunch of times, apparently.
Ghosts.
And, yeah, maybe. But
Ghosts.
She said now when he goes into abandoned buildings and shit, he always wears a respirator and shit.
Oh yeah, I mean,
he's like, he looks fucked up,
yeah.
like
when you're digging around, when you're sneaking around those places, you really should wear a respirator.
You don't look as cool. Wow.
You don't look as cool, I know, but man, the fucking asbestos, mold, all the shit that's down there, just the dust.
Can we get a SMB Mitamufusu shirt? What's SMB? SMB, made in the motherfucking USA.
I don't know what SMB is.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Some bitch.
Some bitch?
Now you're a racist cult? Well, that's the daftest cobblers I've ever heard in a long time.
We are a cult, though. I don't know why we don't make the cult list.
Oh, yes. What I was thinking last night at work regarding back down the Building 7 rabbit hole, I've worked in the flat pack industry trade since 1995, on and off. I've been making kitchen furniture. I drive my wife potty whenever we're at someone's house, and I always have a look at the kitchen. Do I recognize it? Is it one I made? As of 2019, I've seen some kitchens that have been made by any of the companies. I've not seen them made by any of the companies I've worked at in the past 20 odd years. Now, I could just say to myself that there are loads of houses I've not been in, and it's very probable that there's loads of kitchens I've not seen. Or I prefer the possibility that all this flat pack is just going to landfill, short of following the wagon off-site to wherever all this flat pack supposedly goes. Anyhow, great question. Thank you as always. He works for like IKEA or something. Railgun is some weird shit in the early 80s. And FF had some box on the aft deck. What's an FF?
Maybe
frigate?
A fast frigate?
I overheard a couple of officers saying it was a railgun. So why do we, Navy, need this? We have been rudder amidship since the fall of the USSR. We have no real job. It's how all the literal Navy started.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just a proof of concept. Maybe the Navy's taking it on. It's kind of like the Osprey. So the Marine Corps was the lead. The Marine Corps was the lead service for the Osprey, and we are not buying. We're not even buying a fraction of what the U.S. Air Force is buying. So basically, we did all the testing and dying, and then once it was proof of concept, the Air Force is like, okay, we're going to buy 3 times as many as you did. So. That could be the same thing with the railgun, that like the Navy is just trying the railgun out because they think it's cool, and then when they get it to a practical, usable thing, the Army's going to be like, ooh, we're putting it on all our new tanks, because they haven't we haven't changed our main gun for the Abrams in a long time, and since other countries are now using and manufacturing the M1 Abrams, we're going to see a new tank here soon.
Today, April 25th, marks Anzac Day in Australia. You know what it is?
No.
Which is the anniversary of the landing of the Australian and New Zealand troops in Gallipoli in World War I. Gallipoli, is that how it's spelled?
Gallipoli.
It's a day where veterans past and present march in towns all over Australia and even other parts of the world, including Turkey and France, where their service and sacrifice in all wars is remembered and honored. In Darwin, at the top end of Australia, the 2,500 strong U.S. Marine contingent based there marches with our service personnel, and even have an Osprey and a Cobra gunship fly past with our Hornets and attack helicopters. A couple of years ago, I saw a lone retired U.S. Navy sailor proudly march in my local area with our soldiers, complete with his former ship's hat and medals, and I think it's great. It's good to see, as it shows how strong an ally we have in each other, and hope our great relationships last forever, lest we forget. Cheers, Brad.
If you really want to see the shortcomings of military leadership, that is a perfect. The Gallipoli campaign. I don't know what the operation was for the British, but it just shows you how inept military leadership can be, and how willing they can be to waste troops on something that they knew was not going to give them any good return. The Australians fought bravely, don't get me wrong, but by the time the Australians were ashore in Gallipoli, the fucking British were already like, maybe this wasn't a good idea.
EDC Decker. And I think the flea market antique mall you talked about is the one in Bullitt County, about 20 minutes out of Louisville. That might be it, man. It's right on the freeway, right? You can see it from the interstate. It's called World's Most Awesome Flea Market. It's not. It's the one in Bowling Green, Flealand. That's it.
Flealand.
But Flealand doesn't sound big enough. Both used to be awesome back when I was a kid. My grandpa bought my first dirt bike from the one in Bullitt County. Nowadays, the Chinese palette of junk overrun the place, and all the stuff you mentioned. There will always be a guy that looks like he bought every item crackheads took apart and bought to sell. He's selling it for 5 times what it's worth. The guy in Bowling Green that does that is actually named Elvis, and he kind of looks like what you would imagine a 70-year-old Elvis to look like. Of course, I'm assuming you didn't get far off I-65. They're still interesting, I guess, but not in the way you picture before going in. Sorry, so many long questions, comments. I have had all this on my mind all day, and it all hit me all at once, and wanted to get it on here before I fell asleep. Okay, here's another one from him. I'm guessing what he's alluding to here, or talking about. Let me just go back. Where does he start here? Forgot to ask what you think about Bernie saying all the citizens, even incarcerated and convicted felons, should vote, including but not limited to the Boston bomber, which could be good news for you, but bad for the right. I think you can attest to this, but in my young, wilder days, I did a few days in county for stupid stuff, really, but that's beside the point. My issue with what he wants is I think he knows that the people in jail will participate in anything to get out the cell for a few minutes. People go to Bible study, church, that could care less. They will make any excuse to see the doctor if they're in, and literally any other activities that will get them out of the cell. So, of course, given the opportunity, they will vote because they have nothing else to do and nowhere to be. Also, completely off topic, there is a terrible colored Hummer H1 for sale with money made going to a charity about 15 minutes up the road from me, and I think 1.5 to 2 hours from you. I know it's not a Humvee, but it's diesel. I know it's not a Humvee, but it's diesel and open top. I shared it on the SOE back page. You may have seen it now. I don't know if the price is good or not. Just thought you or Skully would be interested in it.
As far as the voting in prison,
we weren't like in prison. You're not really in. I don't know. Maybe other prisons, but we weren't in cells.
Yeah, there's different prisons, I guess. As far as prisoners go, I think that if your time while you're in the can, you are there for punishment. That's why we put you in there. And I think at that point you've lost your right to vote. But once you get out, that is the punishment. We've decided that we're going to put you in jail because of some infraction, whatever it is. Once you get out, I don't think there should be this, oh, well, now you can never vote, or now you can, I mean...
Yeah, if you can pay taxes.
if you can pay taxes, you should be able to vote. So we either rehabilitated you, you either served your time and were punished, or if you, so that's the Republican look. You're going to serve your time and be punished, or you take the fucking Democratic look and you say you've served your time and you've been rehabilitated so you can come back into society. Then it should just be, that's it. It's done. Yep, that was a chapter in your life. It's over. Become a productive citizen, which means you should still be able to vote. But as far as voting in jail, I think that should be, part of your punishment.
John, you mentioned the idea to have a family friend barbecue and kill power to prep readiness. That sounds like a great idea. I'll tell you something else that's not a bad idea. Thought of this over the last couple of days. Sleep in the floor on nothing but a blanket a couple of nights and see how functional you are when you wake up. I have it in my head that I'm reasonably prepared, but there's always something I find every couple of months that I hadn't thought about. In the event that you're bugging out or bugging in with extra people in the house may force you in some awkward sleeping arrangements. Reason I say this is because my wife had her gallbladder removed Monday, and we planned to go home. However, because my wife was feeling so terrible after the surgery, she decided to come to her grandma's, so some of the load was lifted off me. Unfortunately, that put me on the floor next to her bed, and holy shit, it has sucked. I packed my SOE clothes bag with some clothes, and it has came in really handy for storing all my EDC at night because I don't have my nightstand or safe here. I've been laying my pillow on it so it can't be grabbed by anyone without me knowing. Her grandpa is a dementia patient. As always, thanks for the podcast. Right on, man.
Well, the last place, the last time I was over there, we had this place where we were staying, and it had a ledge. It had a ledge that was about 3 feet off the ground, and it's about 3 feet wide, and it went all the way around the inside of the building. And that's what the Marines slept on the entire time we were there. The hip, this hip still to this day hurts from sleeping on that fucking concrete every goddamn night.
The Magic Pill is the name of a documentary on high fat, low carb. Please tell your listeners about it. It helped cancer, autism, and diabetes. That's right up there with like the grain brain thing too. We have 2 flea markets. One is so redneck Mexicans don't even go there. Listen nightly, great stuff.
I want to go there. Where's it at? Tell me where that flea market is.
That's the one, man.
I want to go where the Mexicans dare not travel.
The first rule of 503 is you do not talk about 503.
That is one of the rules.
I don't care if people do drugs. Just don't bother me or harm anyone. An issue with smoking weed for people that have a job in most places, do drug test, and you're playing a dangerous game that puts your job in jeopardy. Also, don't be a dumbass and keep it in your car. It can get you locked up. I believe you should be able to put whatever you want into your body, and you shouldn't be locked up just for possession. I tell people on calls all the time, what they don't do it at home is their business. Just don't flaunt it in front of me and make me lock them up. I have gotten into trouble at my department for giving breaks on weed traffic violations and other calls. Law enforcement brass has the mindset of lock up, ticket them all, and let the judge and jury decide. Yeah, and the officer's discretion is definitely going away with the cameras the way they are now. Like, I was talking to somebody recently, and he said they can actually kill the audio. The video's always there, but they can kill the audio. And then, like, I was told a department at 60 miles an hour, the cameras automatically come on also.
Probably, yeah. I mean, anytime you're in pursuit. The problem with... I am too. I'm kind of in that group where I don't give a shit what you do. If you want to fucking go do heroin, go do heroin.
I don't care until it affects your performance at my job.
The problem is that's a very naive position to be in as far as how far down the rabbit hole drugs can go. I saw a really good documentary a couple weekends ago about, I think it's called Lost Seattle or The End of Seattle. And it's pretty good. You should, if you get an opportunity, you should look on Netflix for it. But it's just about how the city of Seattle is just spiraling around the toilet, and everybody you talk to, it's because of the drug policy. So in Seattle, you can have 3 ounces of any type of drug you want on you.
Anything.
3
ounces is a lot. Isn't it?
3 ounces is a lot, and everybody knows that. So the drug dealers just carry 3 ounces around with them in their pocket. Like, they literally give the shit. Like, when they do we're gonna fucking, I don't know, climbing up a fucking light pole or some shit, we're gonna bring you in, and they pat them down, and if the person is fucking semi-coherent, they'll be like, all right, here's your shit back, and we'll see you later. And just the policy of catch and release, like they have this list in Seattle. It's the 100 most repeat offenders, and there are guys on there that are like 53 arrested 53 times, 60 times. And they actually find one of the guys out on the street. So the news crew finds one of the guys. He's like I think he's in the top 3 people. And they're talking to him, and he's like, I can do whatever I want. They can't. They're not going to do anything to me. They're just going to catch. And then like 2 hours later, he's fucking running up and down the street, half naked, throwing garbage cans through windows because he's fucking hopped up on heroin. It's pretty interesting. So I don't know. I mean, I would say, as long as you can keep your shit together, you do whatever the fuck you want. The minute your shit bleeds over into my street, where you're fucking pooping and peeing all over everything, then I think we should be able to just scoop you up and put you in some place where you can get your shit together.
Yeah, the hole before we put all the dirt on top of it.
Where Batman learned how to climb out of that thing.
No.
Yeah, that hole.
No, I'm talking about the hole we dug with your tractor.
I think, like, what was that place where Batman had to learn how to climb out of the hole?
Naval school.
Yeah, Naval school. That's where everybody should have to go.
Killer podcast, guys. Keep it up. I'm loving my low-profile EDC belt that I bought years ago. Looking forward to purchase soon. It's hard to figure out what to get next. Probably a 2-point convertible sling or shotgun rig. Either way, I know it will be great because the belt is the shit. I've worn it every day, 10 to 16 hours at a time, and hasn't gotten any wear on it. Thanks again for all you guys do. P.S. Fuck those damn turd burglars. Get the shotgun rig, man. You're gonna love it. There's nothing out there like it. Nothing. There's nothing out there that works like our shotgun rig. If you have a shotgun, get the shotgun rig. The belt's cool. You like it. You saw what we build some shit that lasts. The shotgun rig is gonna blow your mind compared to the belt, man.
And if you feel like you need a shotgun rig, get a cop rig.
Yeah, a cop rig, which I don't have any of right now, but I have some shotgun rigs coming.
Oh, yeah, we do. Coyote ones.
Well, fuck, there goes the Decoder ring. 503 solved. Really wanted the fucking toy ring. Way to fucking go. We are out the ring. Laugh out loud, John and Skully. We still want the Decoder ring special sale. Pulling the Thread podcast. Thanks, SOE and crew. Well, shnikes.
We can get some Decoder rings.
John, I want to start woodworking business. What advice do you have for starting a company? What are some tips for growing and scaling a small business? What? Thanks, guys. Keep them coming. Don't stop the podcast until episode 5500. Brian Lucas, man, have you done any fucking woodworking? Like, do we know that you like woodworking? There's all kinds of big, grandiose things you can go get. You better know that you like it. It's like when you start sewing. You're cutting shit with, scissors, and you're hammering fucking holes and then hammering grommets. But then you get a kick press that punches the hole and does the grommets at the same time. You kind of need to know that you like building that shit, because that little hand setter is like a $15 set, whereas the kick presses, you're about $1,000, and you need 4 of them with dies, and we have special dies made and all kinds of shit. So by the time we're done, we got like $6,000 in 4 kick presses. You'd have been a little bummed if you'd have bought $1,000 worth of kick presses, put a grommet in, and you're like, oh, fuck this bullshit. I don't want to do this shit.
I don't want to do this anymore.
So, scaling the business, build something people want, man.
Yeah.
Like, you have to do one of two things. You have to have money or you have to have knowledge. The more you have of one, the less you have to have of the other. And that's how this is. I'm going to tell you, you have to build a lot of shit that you can sell cheap, or you have to build really expensive stuff that is better and takes more time. You got to find which end you're on. Like Jeff always says, even when things are automated, you can go buy furniture at Walmart right now, right? It's shit. You get it home, you can put it together, it kind of stays there, but as soon as you want to take it and move it into another room, or God forbid move to another house or apartment, that shit will never be the same. But fine furniture, you know, I think right now the money, and I could be completely wrong, I do not have woodworking skills nor fabrication skills, but I'm fairly confident that within a couple of weeks I could weld together some nice steel frames. We could wire brush them, we could clear coat them, or better yet, clear powder coat them, and then put live edge tables on them, live edge fucking slabs. I see them everywhere. I'm 100% confident that I could build one this weekend and sell that motherfucker. Amanda wanted to make cutting boards. I mean, we went and bought all the shit at a fucking woodworking shop, got these killer fucking bracing, what are they called? They're just vices, you know. And she made a cutting board. Anything's doable. Like what you're doing. If you're 100% know you're going to do it, you're probably a little better to invest in the tools right off the bat. Figure out which one cuts down the more of your labor. What makes you able to produce more yet keeps the quality. As far as social media, start it yesterday. Whatever it's going to be, make sure that all your social media names are all the same. Like ours are not. We have like special operations equipment on Facebook, but we have SOE Tactical Gear on Instagram, and then it's fucking my name, John Willis, on YouTube. Get all your shit. It should say what you do in your name. SOE Tactical Gear, Special Operations Equipment. Get your URLs locked on right now. You don't need a fucking ton of them. You don't need to worry about trademarking and all that bullshit right now. Fuck, I would say go start business before you even fucking form a business. Make sure you want to do it and get out there at some shows. I would rather, it's perception of value. I've always said that I can go to Walmart and buy a $4 dog collar and put some bedazzle. They even make bedazzlers anymore. You know?
I'm sure you
put some fucking charms and some fucking rhinestones, Swarovski crystals on them. Now I have a $16 dog collar. If I'm selling to the Walmart crowd, I'm not going to sell to the Walmart crowd. We're going to drive 3 hours up from San Diego to Rodeo Drive, and we're going to sell these motherfuckers for $200 to all these spoiled little fucking rich bitches that are walking on the bleached white sidewalks, getting a Botox injection in their lips. They can't fucking smile, but they got that fucking $8,000 little dog because she's so fucking into herself, she hasn't shit out her own child, so she bought a little puppy to feel better about herself. I'm going to sell collars to that bitch. That's who you want to sell your fucking furniture to. That's who you want to sell your wood or whatever it is you're making. Sell it to people that have fucking money, disposable income. You don't want to have to convince them. You want to have a fucking booth at a fucking higher end show where there's people and other people like, man, that chick just bought one. I should buy one. Or the dude sees that chick buy one like, oh, my wife would like this. You know, stuff like that, man. I don't know. I don't have enough information. Make some more posts. Tell us what you're doing. Both your words are in line with David Goggins. That's because he listens to us. Any thought on the stories about Goggins? 100%.
Who's David Goggins?
Fucking Super SEAL. He lives in Nashville, by the way. He's right here. Respect implementing challenges. Will close on my first home May 30th at 38 years old. Fuck yeah, man. Hustle to the top with a 15-month tech school associate's degree. Took and did everything no one else would. I'm now an executive economist and have 21-year-old in the Merchant Maritime School and 13-year-old with special needs. Both my stepsons, but I see them as my responsibility to be the best dad I can be. Work to be done. Love my SOE FUPA for hunting chest mini rig. Dude, thank you for getting the FUPA. I think we should stop calling our stepkids. They're either your fucking kids or they're not your kids. If you are the main fucking male role model in their life, or you have them even 50% of the time, those are your fucking kids. In California, when you get divorced and those aren't your kids, you're still paying for them little motherfuckers. So if you're going to step in and be the dad, be the better fucking dad. Let's stop calling them our stepkids and let's just call them our fucking kids. Another great one, Hillbilly. My Cheese Wheel. I like. Where do these motherfuckers get these names from? We just had some really good cheese though. John, given the damage done to my dog collar, I would definitely be interested in a bungee leash. How can I get one? I don't know.
Is this My Cheese Wheel from before? You were told to send an email directly to John.
He might have, man. I get so many fucking emails.
Send an email directly to John and just make sure you're like, My Cheese Wheel.
My Cheese Wheel? Send me a picture of your dog. What happened to your collar? It wasn't one of our collars, right?
Could have been. It'd have killed the dog.
We're getting a CrossFit gym. You know why?
Why? Because it's black and red.
Well, it is black and red.
Because it's black and
red. It
red.
is black and red.
That's why we're getting it.
But it looks so cool, man. I just want to get a little monkey and let him just CrossFit all around in there.
Well, you know two of them. We could probably get Jade to come, and then Dave Lee will definitely be able to
shit.
Like a fucking
yeah. That's next level shit. That's like parkour. Dave Lee.
That would be awesome.
I think Dave Lee just competed in like the CrossFit World Championship.
You know what would be awesome is to have Jade Marsh and Dave Lee come into the CrossFit gym, but through separate doors.
And then monkey bar across and chicken fight in the middle.
Yeah, just to see what kind of energy would
reflect off them. And whichever one falls off the bars first, they gotta have a pencil fight, and he gets to draw
just
first.
To see what kind of energy.
And then Rob Pincus has to fucking fight the winner, because Rob Pincus can box jump onto a 55-gallon drum.
I think Jade Marsh,
63 inches,
could box jump on top of Rod Pincus on top of the 55-gallon drum.
I think Jade Marsh can box jump onto the box jumps that are out there that everybody looks at and goes, "Who the fuck is jumping on those?" They came free with the...
him jump. I seen his box jump, and I've seen him do it to where I was like, not only was I like, holy shit, how did he do that? But I also was like, man, he did it so easy, I bet he could do it higher.
Amanda's like, and he's not that tall. I go, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like this tall, and then he's got that luxurious hair, that mane. That makes him look 4 inches taller. He's like an Arabian fucking show horse. It's all braided up and shit. I don't know who has better hair, him or Mick Strider. Mick cut all his hair off though, didn't he?
Did he? I don't know. I
always see Mick as long-haired Mick.
I think so Jade's hair is Jade's. So the difference is, I think they're both luxurious, but Jade's hair is more mane and tail. Like Jade's hair is more mane and tail, where Mick's is more.
I think whoever grooms Jade,
pomade.
Whoever grooms Jade only uses whale ivory brush.
I guarantee you it is a whale ivory brush. Yeah.
I wonder what the bristles are.
Yeah, what are the
Probably
bristles made of?
Some endangered little animal.
Definitely something.
They probably had to kill like 50
of
the last mice in the world.
The last of
them. Did you read about the new Russian submarine? Supposedly, it has nuclear-powered underwater drones that are capable of detonating and creating tsunamis. They say in testing it works well. Is that what happened to Florida last year? Is there a chance that the tsunamis that have happened around the world could have been from Russian or HARP? Would the seismologist know if it was natural or man-made? Yeah, they should see a pulse. They should see that fucking pre-detonation, shouldn't they? If these underwater drones are nuke-powered, then I would guess their range is probably only limited by the size of the ocean. Truth be told, this doesn't sound good. You better worry about Dr. Evil.
Confirmation on this, probably not true at all. The Russians are launching the largest submarine ever made. It's going out to sea here shortly. It is bigger than it's the biggest submarine ever launched, and it is bigger than a World War II aircraft carrier. So think about that kind of displacement. They are launching it. It is going out to sea. When you're talking about drones, the United States, DARPA is already working on a completely underwater base off the coast of California that's sole purpose will be to have underwater drones coming and going from that area. What they will be able to do, who knows? I mean, they'll definitely be able to find ships and sink ships. So the future of surface war Navy is going to be pretty different here in the future. As far as being able to make a tsunami, you'd actually know that it was man-made, and I highly doubt that the Russians have that capability. They got some good shit, but they don't have the good shit.
SOE and crew, baller status. Like, what's JRE podcast?
I don't know. Joe Rogan Experience. Boom! Hey, Joe, you fucking lefty. The lefties, by the way, Joe, think you're a far righty and should be deplatformed, which is crazy.
Thought I'd gone barmy for a minute. Thank you. Same here. I thought I restarted by accident. Hey,
What
John.
happened?
I don't know. Hey,
Something
John.
happened.
You were the man. Just gave my son a birthday shout out on Facebook Live. It's the little things that add up. Thanks for taking. Did you give him the keys? I told you to I told him to go get the keys from you. He just turned 10. Fucking Howard Hughes was driving around when he was 10, crashed the car. You know, all that shit happened. If we're going to let these kids, if we want them to be fucking great, we got to let them do cool shit. Hey guys, I'm rewatching episodes and you guys talk about how hard it is to find real Mexican food. Like, I'm in Texas. It wasn't until the 3rd year I was there that I found good Mexican food. We went to the worst part of town, which of course was on the other side of the tracks, and boom, hole in the wall street tacos. Needless to say, we were there often. You gotta go where the real Mexicans are.
The real Mexicans.
The SOE decoder ring will teach you the 503 secret. Laugh my ass off. Thanks, SOE and crew. Swamp Rat says 2 + 2 is 4, minus 1, that's 3. 503 equals SOE. Quick math. What?
That's some crazy shit right there. You gotta sell that to the state of California so they can start teaching that shit in high schools.
Stem cell shows or people to YouTube search for about it. Bass Rutten, Chael Sonnen, both are retired UFC champs. Camps. Also, Mike Tyson talks about it on his YouTube channel. Thanks, SOE and crew. Tyson is a big-time weed grower now, right? Tree story. Bought a bunch of fruit trees and planted them in the backyard. Did a lot of research to ensure I had everything I needed to make them grow in the heat of Texas. They started growing fruit, and I was all proud. Then we got a potbelly pig that we weren't even expecting. Then I left for a 2-week hazmat course. Who is this? Juan Ponce. Left for a 2-week hazmat course. Came back. The wife had this, oh shit, I gotta tell you something, look on her face. Look on her when I started to walk out back. Opened the door, and there were no trees. I looked at her, and she was pointing down to the pig. She had not paid attention to him while he was wandering the yard, and he dug up the roots, eaten the bark, eaten all the leaves, and of course all the fruit. How I got a pig is another funny story I'll have to tell y'all. Holy shit, man.
Now you got bacon.
We got a goat. We're about to have some goat jerky. Just ordered my wife a Blaze Orange toiletry bag. I shipped several of those today. And a mystery bag while listening to you guys. Love the gear. Just found out I've been buying shit from you guys since 2013. Out of all the slings I've got, I only have 2 left from giving them away to friends and people who love them. Thank you, man. Jared, man, thanks for spreading the SOE word like that. We definitely appreciate you. John, I accidentally drove through Round Top, Texas, and it is crazy. The amount of stuff is almost hard to imagine. It would take days. They say it takes over 10 days and you still won't see all of it. It would take days to see it, and you would still not see everything. Enjoy the podcast. New Mexico, State Highway 503, Cundio Road from Cundio, where the first space aliens eluded capture after crash landing 300 miles south outside of
You're
Roswell,
not supposed to
New
talk
Mexico.
about it.
Yeah.
You figured it out.
Here is the land grant of over 3 square miles of property they settled. John, was your dad's family Western pioneers from here? 503 also be percent number sign upper keys on computer, which has big meaning in Japanese. I don't know about none of that. Santo Domingo de something grant. The grant was approved by Governor Gaspar Domingo de Mendoza for 2,137 acres, proceeding before the court of private land. What the fuck is he talking about?
He's talking about this area here,
Right.
which is 503.
The land
in
grant
Mexico.
heirs rallied together in 1926 and defeated the erroneous tax assessment that threatened loss of common lands. In 1975, this land grant participated in title clearance projects that secured title to private lands within the grant.
No, we didn't come from there.
No, I don't know anything about
John's
it.
pioneer family did not come from there.
Thought Skully would get a kick out of this narrative from one of my favorite Terminal Lance comic strips. If you're not 15 minutes prior to the 15 minutes prior, you're wrong. Time in the Marine Corps doesn't exist as it does in the regular world. Einstein and Stephen Hawking would be dumbfounded at the mental gymnastics required to extrapolate the chronological mind-fucking that takes place every day across the Corps. The fabric of time is less fabric and more like a few fucked up strings that kind of don't weave in any particular order or reason. Infamously, being gunny timed is when you're told to be somewhere, but it doesn't actually mean what you think it means. If gunny tells you to be here at 08, you will be unforgivingly late if you show up anywhere in the vicinity of 08. 800. 15 minutes early isn't just a courtesy, it's a requirement. The common equation for figuring out when you have to be somewhere generally goes something like this. T equals T minus 15. F, T equals time you actually have to be there. Time you were told to be there. Dude, I'm not reading the rest of this. I'm done with that one. Great podcast. Don't stop at 100. John, let me get 5 sailors together, and about 15 minutes we will find the glory hole in the flea market. 100%. I think we could hang out with Cody. Podcast video 86, Railgun. Skully, the mistake that the Navy is making with railgun research and technology is trying for an offensive weapon system when they should be developing a defensive system. With a railgun, defensive nothing in line of sight could get to the carrier or any ship that had the power to operate it. It would stop a hypersonic missile attack. The question then becomes, what do you do when everyone else has a railgun defense system? Then you need a space navy to hit the target with a Q kinetic energy weapon.
Yeah, maybe that's what it's all for. I mean, I don't know. I think we're probably at the crossing point. We are getting close to the crossing point where the carrier navy might be becoming obsolete. There's going to be some turning point where we're going to have a piece of technology that's going to make it so you don't need aircraft carriers anymore. Hopefully, we discover that before our enemies do, and they sink the 7th Fleet.
SOE registered with the Southern Poverty Law Center. I checked their website. SOE and John Willis are not listed on their hate map of Tennessee. They have a hate map.
Mm-hmm.
There are 36 groups listed. SOE is not one of them. However, James Yeager gets honorable mention.
Yeah, he gets honorable mention. He's not, and he doesn't make the hate group list, but like he gets an honorable mention if you look up his name. It's not.
My hair's not short enough. That's why I didn't make the list.
Probably.
James is bald. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know why James is bald?
I have no idea.
His hair grows out afro.
I knew he was the curls, but
Yeah.
I thought maybe
Kind of like a Jufro.
He had
those tight little curls.
tight curls. He goes
He
tight.
should grow it out and perm it.
He should.
John,
Don't be afraid.
if you're looking for something a little different for off instead of a Pathfinder, what the fuck? I'm not getting a Pathfinder. Look up Pinsgauer.
Oh.
We know all about the Pinsgauer, man. 710 is the same mystery machine that Delta cruised around during Desert Storm. If it was good enough for those ninjas, it would be good enough for you. Keep the podcast coming. Also, if you're into military antiques, the Max Show is coming to Pittsburgh again in October. Really worth the trip. That's cool, man. I'd always heard the biggest military collector show is in Louisville, Kentucky.
That sounds about right.
The Pinsgauer's cool. Volvo has a cool one kind of like that too.
Yeah.
You guys got an editing issue. Video restarts, maybe it's YouTube. Huh. I don't know what that says. 104 Small issues in the podcast YouTube world just means you're surrounded by hustlers. Get it up and move forward. Thanks, SOE and crew, for the comment. Unintended Consequences. Who is the author? If you do a search on Amazon, there are like 12 books. It's the one with an ATF agent stepping on Lady Liberty's head.
And that's just un-American.
Silencer Co. is in Utah, I believe.
Yeah, Silencer Co. is the one I'm always talking about. I don't talk about anybody else because Surefire does not give me any love. Ops Inc. doesn't give me any love. Silencer Co. didn't either. It's just the first one I bought, so...
Silencer Co. Antique stores. Me and some friends were in Indianapolis for a convention. We had some hours to kill, so we went to a local gun store. Cool looking, brand new place, but a lot of overpriced stuff. Right across the parking lot was an antique store. When we were done at the gun store, we went to the antique store as it was right there. It was a converted house. It had one of those huge wraparound porches. As we were going through all the rooms, we noticed there were a lot of items in each room, but very few actual antiques. Vast majority of the stuff was fake antiques. Not that they were passing them as antiques, just stuff you could tell was made recently to look antique. When we left, we double-checked the signage outside. It said antiques for sale. Yeah, that's kind of like World Market. If you go in there, it's stuff like from India that, you know, your great-grandfather would have had from when he came back from India, shit like that. But they're still making it in India just as they were a fucking 100 years ago. I mean, they're still living the same way they fucking lived 100 years ago. Woke up this morning, mowed, string trim, weed and feed the flowers and the yard, and finished off with lime. Now some time with my son before grilling some 2-inch steaks. Don't be poor. Get shit done. Hashtag don't be poor.
Hashtag don't be poor. 50 cents. Hashtag
time
50
with
cents.
family. Feels good to see progress. Skully, which was the most badass Marine moment? Ripley at the bridge or Battle of Chapultepec? Thanks for the podcast. Listening while working outside all day.
Baddest Marine Corps moment.
That's what I listen to the survival podcast.
That's a tough one. Baddest Marine, the best Marine Corps moment. I mean, it has to be the first flag raising on Mount Suribachi.
Oh.
Because those guys were under fire, and one of those guys brought the flag. So
that's cool. All right, we'll cut it there.
We're gonna cut it there. All right.
Cut it there.
Look at that. That's a lot.
That was
that was a whole.
About a 60-minute.
60 minutes, bros.
But it's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Jeff has to go home and eat cereal.
I gotta eat cereal.
I would like some cereal.
You have cereal in there.
Eating really good.
Cereal?
No.
Oh.